Good morning, everybody. 8:11 a.m. It is September 29th. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, I had some short covering in the markets yesterday. Um, I did not take a trade yesterday, unfortunately, but I saw it happening. Just didn't give me the best setup, but that's okay. You can see in the triple Qs, we took out the last 2 day highs, right? But we couldn't do that in the SPY. That's why I put Qs are strong. We got PCE coming out at 8:30. That's the Fed's preferred measurement of inflation. Okay, that's personal consumption expenditure. That is coming out right at 8:30. We'll get into that. We'll watch that, and then that's about it. Side note: I'm not sure who's even watching this, but I just got blocked from Discord. I have no clue why. I'm blocked. Like that doesn't even make sense. But I don't know if anybody experienced that before. But anyway, let's get into this. Welcome to my channel. My name's Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile and market profile to find structure in the market, along with gamma exposure level, supply and demand, and the most traded price of the rolling week, the year, and the month. All helps me keep me on the right side of the market. It's all based on market structure. Okay, market structure is the key, right? If the foundation's weak, if we're not holding above a certain level, that gives you strength or weakness. Okay, that's basically how the market works. It's an auction. Okay, you want to be on the right side of the auction whenever you place a trade. All right, subscribe, set an alert. Yeah, Kobe, so weird. Like I'm just getting gamma levels. I didn't do anything. I mean, I can have access on my mobile, but it's like you've been banned for something I typed. I'm like, I literally typed the thing I've been typing every day, and it's part of the site to get gamma levels. I mean, that's really all I did. So weird. Um, anyway, hopefully I can get a thumbs up and settle this Discord thing. It's kind of annoying. You can follow me on X at Gonzo719 and welcome Kobe. And let's just get right into these futures. Okay, let's get right into them. And we got silver. Silver's up 2.59%. That kept hitting. Kept getting alerts, hitting like I think it's 20 something of a support, and it finally got some buyers. Crude is just beastly. Pulled back. Now it's moving back up. Nasdaq's up 0.66. 30-year bonds catching a bid a little bit. Right, they've been getting hammered, but they're catching a bid a little bit. All right. Russell's up 0.54. Ether up 0.54. ES up 0.49. The Dow's up 0.48. Gold catching a little bit of a bid. 10-year yield should definitely come down today. Okay, at 820. The dollar, remember that 1588 level? We're back under it. Is it going to be support or is it going to drive the dollar back down? Let's see. Bitcoin down 0.91. The VIX is down 4.67%, but we're still at a 16 VIX, which you should expect a 1% move in the S&P today. Okay, let's move on. All right, BABA up 2%. Okay, China had a good end of the quarter. All right, especially for tech stocks, pushing BABA up. No surprise there. Okay, coin, coin. I missed my long in coin yesterday. I was looking for it to hold. What was it? 72. It did, and didn't give me enough time to set that up. But coin is now at 76. Okay, 77, it was a big positive gamma level. That's where it pulled back. That's where it hit resistance. Today, let's see if it could hold 75. All right. Tesla. Tesla's up 1.27%. Okay, they had some like deliveries knocked down. AMD, that stock, I even said to myself, put a little nibble because it was beat down to the 200-day moving average, and now look, I think it went down to like 95 or 96, and now it's catching a bid, right? Amazon over the 125 level. All right, investing 4 billion, I believe, in a OpenAI or ChatGPT. I think it's OpenAI. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. All right, all these stocks are catching bids. The weaker of the bunch was Apple, Boeing, Microsoft, JP Morgan. Okay. Now, just to put it in there, it's quarter end, it's month end. Maybe we get some window dressing for the quarter, and you get continuation today. Okay. Nike also beat earnings. They were up 8%. Okay. Let's move on. Top sector stocks. Okay. Roblox up 0.9. We got Exxon, Salesforce, Qualcomm. The regular techies up at the top. Defensives going towards the bottom, right? Home Depot, Walmart, Costco, United Healthcare, J&J, Procter and Gamble. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Now, as far as the sectors, discretionary leading the pack, right? That is Amazon, that is Tesla, that is Home Depot. That's the top three holdings in that sector. Semiconductors, that's Nvidia, AMD, of course. Technology, that's Microsoft and Apple. Apple's not as strong. Microsoft not as strong as the other stocks, but still pushing the market with semis inside XLK. One of the strongest sectors that haven't had much weakness is communications. Okay, look at a communications chart. You can just see the strength. All right, that's your Meta, that's your Google. Okay, look at Meta too, been strong. Who is a laggard? Really not one, right? Really not one. I expect the defensives to be weak. Healthcare staples, well, financials, utilities getting beaten down. Jeez, I didn't expect that to drop that far. Okay, let's see the indexes. Who is the weaker? We got the Dow is the weakest right now of the strong, right? Of the strong. Let's move on. Let's move on to some news. Oh man, this thing didn't come through. Give me one sec here. Will I get this right here? Give me one sec. You're gonna see a flash coming up on the screen. Right there. That's not what I want to show you guys. Just give me one sec. It should be up in 2 seconds. Okay, there we go. All right, and we go to market. Some market news here. Okay. Now, real coverage. Eurozone inflation slowing. Okay, so they had a good day after dovish comments from the Federal Reserve. Okay, China had a good day. Okay, so the markets at the quarter end having good day. Now, this is something that the BlackRock CEO think by 2025 the U.S. economy may be entering a recession. So he's saying that people are seeing crude come down for next year. Okay, we're looking like we're going to get a government shutdown. That looks like it's imminent. What else here? That's really, we got core PCE coming. That's really what I wanted to cover there. All right, so here's our economic calendar. I don't even know if I put that up there or not. We got core PCE coming out. Now, what do we got here? Core PCE, right? Year over year. Consensus is 3.5. Previous was 3.3. So they're looking for a 0.2 uptick. Okay. For the core, they're looking for it to be the same as the last reading. Okay. So unchanged for core, but PCE year over year looks like it should go up. Okay. Now let's mull this down into, all right, so we got a bunch of Michigan numbers coming out at 10, so stay away from a trade. Entering a trade at 10 a.m., you're going to get volatility. If you're in it earlier, fine, and you're away from your entry. I wouldn't enter a trade at 10 a.m. with the Michigan consumer sentiment, all that stuff coming out. Okay, Chicago PMI 945, so keep that in mind. Okay, no big upgrades or downgrades today to note. All right, PCE, you got that the strikes. All right. I saw, last I saw the United Auto Workers looking for a 30% raise. Now not a 40%. Okay. All right. I think that does it for the news. All right. We can move on to the daily chart. And I guess, right? I guess that this trend line in the SPX held the market, right? Cash market. Boom, boom, and boom. So that SPX trend line, boy. And then we broke our downtrend. Look at that. You had one time framing, which just means lower highs, lower lows, going down, 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 and then boop, broke it yesterday. Okay, broke it yesterday in the SPX, and I mean SPY is going to look pretty similar. Okay, so let's look at this express chart in the SPY. Okay, let's see what we did. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right, with price action. All right, so we basically came back to this trend line, right? So we opened here, dipped down, came all the way up. Now where did we come to? Where did we come to? Last week's lows. Found resistance, right? And then we closed here. Last week's lows, right? We're still below August's lows. All right. Notice that. All we did was come up to here and found resistance and move back. However, where are we at now? 430.68. 430.68. We're right here. We're above last week's lows. So we're within last week's range now. Okay, so we're gapping up. And now I would definitely think this 432, let's see what this level is exactly. 433 is last month's lows. Can we get up there today? Remember, could be window dressing for the quarter end, month end. To just go whoop, to go right here. I don't know if that happens or not, but it could. Okay, so that's really what I'm looking at, 433. You know, maybe do you get a pullback to 430? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's move on. Qs. All right, so the Qs, big picture. I said 355 is that level, right? Kept mentioning that to my friend Rosa. Right here, I said, even though we dipped below it, right? That was probably the fake out. I'm not saying we go all out rally now. I'm just saying like this level just held. Okay, that was an important level. August lows, right? So now you notice that. Just look at the Qs. Two things to notice here: the strength in the Qs. Okay, it couldn't really hold below the August lows. The SPY is still below the August lows. Now look what we did in the Qs. Took out 2 days highs. You took two candles out. Okay, what did you do in the Qs? You closed, right? You closed within last week. You closed above last week's lows. Yes, you did go all the way up to here. There's a trend line here, 9 EMA daily. You did close back there, but you closed above it, right? So the Qs are stronger in structure. The Qs are stronger. Now remember, the Qs only have tech. You're not going to get other sectors pulling it down. Okay, sectors are those other sectors that can weigh down the S&P will not weigh down the Nasdaq. Okay, so that's something you have to remember. Okay, now where are we at now in the Qs? 360.60. Look at that. Closed here, right? Now look what's the pre-market. 360.60. We're gapping up right above the highs. Now, if you look to the left, you got 2 days right here. You got a double top. So I would say, let's set a little level there. Right there, 361.60. I would look at that today, right? If you break that and hold, I don't know, boy, whew, then you got this gap. You got this gap above us. Now, that would be something if you fill that gap today. But this right here, this gap has been resistant twice in the Qs. That's a really big level to look at. Really big level to look at. Huge right here. And look what that's going to happen. It's going to come right up kind of to this trend line and break that trend line. So 100-day moving average is here. Okay, so that's what we got going on. This gap. Now, all gaps usually get filled, right? I don't know if this happens today. That would be a friggin' monster move. Okay. Now you can see here in the upper left, we're expecting a $5 move in the Qs. That's what the option market is expecting, $5 move. So if we opened, let's say 360, $5 would put us, geez, look at that. It's a gap fill. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right. I think that wraps up that. I think that wraps up that pretty good. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. Let's go to the 10-year yield, the triple-headed monster. All right, so look at that. We peaked out at 4.6, gapping down today. 30-year bonds are being bought today. Does that continue? Don't know. But you have last month's, look at last week's highs, right? We're holding it, but if we come down here and can break it, let's see, right? If you have that rally, if these continue to fall, right, that can make stocks rally. Remember, their inverse relationship. There's an inverse relationship, okay? The VIX. Remember, this is a month out of fear. People are buying a month out of fear. Okay? Got to keep that in mind. So we were all the way up here, almost went to the 20s. Now we went under the 200-day moving average. We're right at 16. Remember, 16 is still a 1% move expected. Okay? Dollar. Key level was that 1588. We are below that now. Okay, let's look at it a little closer. Here's that 1588. I said that was such a key level to break. Well, it broke it, hit the other resistance, 106.74, and it's now being sold off. Where is it going? Right at last week's highs. So if this continues to fall, that's good for equities as well. Okay, keep an eye on it. Let's move over to the market profile. Let's get some structure. Okay. Let's get some structure here, everybody. Boom. Maybe I'll let Colby run the show today with the market profile, volume profile. All right. So let's look at our profile for the last rolling week. All right. Whoa. That's definitely PCE. Hold on, that news dropped. Let me go back to it. I'm wondering if that number did not come as weak as it thought. All right, let's look at that number. So the PCE year over year, was in line. All right. So year over year headline PCE 3.5, expected 3.5. Okay. Then now let's look at the core. Core consensus 0.2. It went down 0.1. So that is bullish. Okay. That is bullish. Personal spending month over month, previous 0.8, consensus 0.4, came in line, but that means people are spending less. So that is bullish. Okay, interesting. Month over month PCE consensus 0.5 came down to 0.1. So basically, I would say that's a little bullish. I got a little nice bid. I got hit some heard some large orders hit the tape. All right, let's get back. Let's get back here and let's look at our structure. So right there, we just broke supply. Broke supply, okay? Well, let's go look at our profile. So we got some excess here. Nice little distribution here, and then we got a lot of volume here, right? And then we got some excess down here. Okay. So it's got a little bit of a bullish imbalance, which means that we don't have a lot of excess at the top. So you could expect the market to look like that if you're going to make some excess at the top. Okay. That's number one. Okay. Now, where is our most traded price? It's right here, 43.15. That has not moved. Okay. Now, 43.70 is a candidate, or 43 like 59.60. If the market is going to move higher, this needs to take this most traded price of the week and move it higher, right? Can value follow price? If value doesn't follow price, price returns back to value. That's how that works, okay? So now let's look at it now. We're above this. That's bullish structure. We have a bullish imbalance that doesn't have excess. That's a bullish structure. So right now, this is a bullish structure, okay? So now we just broke this supply. Okay, we have demand that is right here. Okay, I hope you see where I'm going with this. Okay, now, here's another thing. Here's another nuance. And this is why I love the market profile. Okay, here's another nuance. Let's get in here. Let's zoom into this. Okay, just so you can see this with me. Nice and clear. Okay, let's put it down here. Okay, so see how my market profile does this little box. Okay, I don't really, that little box is nice to see, and it also tells me down here, I just want to show you. I don't need to read that, but down here, I don't know if you can read that, it says poor high. Okay, that's a market profile acronym or lingo. Okay, now poor highs are longs at poor location, and this is the little guys. This is like me and you guys trading this. This isn't the big boys. Okay, so what has to happen generally when you have a poor high? It has to get corrected. It needs excess. You see this excess? You notice that? How the yesterday session didn't have excess. Okay? That's two 30-minute periods that got stuck there. Now, can you say that this corrected this? Not sure yet because the market didn't open yet. Okay? But this has to get corrected. This has to get corrected. So let's look at this session together. Let me see if I can bring this up like this. Okay, let's look at it. So we have a poor high. So this is yesterday's high, yesterday's low, right? And yesterday, look, it opened down here, went here, and then it tested this most traded price of the week, and that's where the buying happened, right? So what do we have? This is the overnight low, overnight high. Okay, so where's price? Gapping up. We're gapping up. In futures, The gap is only from the high, not from the close. Okay, so here's inventory. This is the short inventory to all this long. We're about 75% net long. Okay, 75% net long. So gap rules. Gap rules. Okay, gap rules is most bullish, gap and go. Second most bullish, a pullback that doesn't fill the gap and goes. Third, fills the gap and goes. Okay, this is how you gauge it. If we go back into range, that means the buyers aren't as strong, right? They're not ready to take that move yet. That's how we judge the strength and the weakness. I don't go in a gap and go. That does not mean anything for me. Okay, I'm not longing at the top of the range. Okay, so you have this poor high here. Okay, so this is kind of setting up. So let's get into the scenarios. All right, so what I could see is, oh, now you broke the supply, which is good too. Okay, now what I'd like to see is a nice move up, and any now this also, right here could be the buy. You fill that gap, and if it holds, you could be going up. Okay, you could be going up to around 43.80. That's the next supply zone. There's actually single prints to the left here. I believe that's in an overnight session though. Right here. Okay, so that's possibly gonna happen. Another thing gonna happen is we pull back into range, into this demand zone, and there's the most traded price of the week right there. Yesterday, most traded price of yesterday. If that holds, even if we come below and you start to hold, well, now you got the liquidity here to just rip. Okay, you to just rip. Now, as far as any kind of bearish activity, we could fail here. If you think that this is a good, I'm not really going to be interested in that much of the short unless internals are showing me super weakness, because you could come in here and go here and then you could just take this move, right? But if this happens and we break this and hold and we take out, and we can go back here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now we're far away from that gap overhead up here. Okay, so let's look at the NASDAQ together. NASDAQ's in a very, very key supply area, supply zone right now. Okay. All right, let's look at this together. We got a double distribution profile here. We got a nice little low volume node here, followed by big distribution, and then we have excess. Now, if you look at a profile, this NASDAQ has some excess. It's thinning out. It doesn't mean it can't go higher, but it is thinning out, which means it's running out of participants. So the NASDAQ, remember, it's made a stronger move higher. Okay? Where's the most traded price? Still here, 14770. Okay? Price is here. We're above it. Okay? We're in a bullish structure now. I'm not saying bull to the all-time highs. Just now, this is bullish structure. Okay? So, here's the high from yesterday. Here's the low. All right? Got some single prints down here. Okay? So we're gapping up. I told you about the gap rules already. Got demand zones here. Okay? Above us, what do we have? Here's that gap. That's the gap zone. Can it just gap and go and rip all the way to here? Possibly. But then it's going to go without me. Okay? It's going to go without me. So look at all this volume here in the overnight. Right at yesterday's highs. Okay? So you could definitely see if the market does push up into this gap, fails, comes back, right? And this is the key. Does it hold this? These are longs right here. If it doesn't, it's going to come back into here. Okay? That's basically what I'm looking at. So right now, let's go back into the scenarios for the Qs, and I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, Kobe, correct, it just means breaking it. It just means that double TPOs that are there, that double top, that's a poor high. That's how I talk about a profile when it has a flat top, right? Picture this profile that looks like this. Correcting it would make excess. So here's scenarios right here, same thing. If we pull back to this level, hold this overnight VPOC, you could see us moving into that gap. Okay. Second, pulling into these demand zones, right? Even going to the overnight lows, and you start to make it, that makes the move. We're in a key supply now. Can we get failure? We can. So we're in supply right now, right? We got to our left. There's a couple of weak highs here, right at the gap zone, right here. So you need to push into there, and even hold back here, you could go higher, right? So if there's going to be a bearish point, you can fail to fill the gap, and you can roll over, right? Come back down here. I don't know if that's probable, but that could happen. Okay, so you got those scenarios. Pretty basic, pretty the same. Remember, quarter end, month end. Very, very important. Okay, that will do it for me today. Subscribe, set an alert if you can. All right, always give me a big thumbs up if you like what you saw. We got our plan. All right, and I wish everybody have a good weekend. This is quarter end, month end, 10 a.m. Michigan Consumer Sentiment. Remember that. Okay, I will see everybody tomorrow.